privileged to be joined by the Member of Parliament for Sekondi, Honorable Ble Nyameke Ama, who is a first-time Member of Parliament for the area. He ousted Andre Japan Mesa, who was Minister for Tourism and Creative Arts in the just ended elections. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning, sir.
I trust you're doing well.
Thank you for that. Sorry?
I trust you're doing well, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good running.
Amazing. Our attention really has been drawn to a persistent water crisis situation in the Paris Square area where you're a Member of Parliament for. Has this water crisis also come to your attention as Member of Parliament?
Oh, yes. First of all, let me extend my greetings and Easter greetings to your viewers and your management team, as well as my constituents and the people of Paris Square in Sekondi. Back to your question. This has been an issue way back, about 30 years, 20 years, over 20 years. It is a persistent problem that we have within that area. And during my election campaigning, it was, brought to my attention again as an important issue that we had to resolve, of which I consulted the area manager to see the way forward. We scheduled a meeting to that effect, but I had not been able to meet him as at the time that I'm on set now.
Interesting. For residents in the area, their livelihood, and for some of them, their lives really have, has come to a standstill because of these water challenges. Are you able to share with us some of the measures, beyond trying to engage the water? What are the temporary measures, you are putting in place to relieve, residents in the area, if any?
Yes, there are a few solutions that I had in mind, and I had a discussion with the manager actually. And the manager told me that the issue is due to the fact that not enough of water is pumped into the service area, which is the Esikado holding area. The level of water that they have to pump to be able to service the area, including the whole Sekondi, including Ajembra, Kwekuma, and let's say all the 9 electoral areas, it's not enough. So they have to normally ration the water. So as at this morning that I'm talking to you, the Sekondi Township tap is off, and it's been off for a few days, so that other areas can get it. And I asked the question, why is it so? And he said that it's been an issue with their pumping area in the Boise. And as such, there has been a contract for the facility to be expanded, and it is ongoing. And they hope that once that facility is completed, there will be enough water that will be pumped into the service area in Esikado, so that everybody will be able to get regular flow of water.
Did this manager give timelines as to when this contract, expected to be completed, will be eventually finalized?
Not really. I have to be honest with you. He wasn't able to give me any timeline, but I had other solutions that I discussed with him before the meeting was scheduled regarding the community water project. That one is being done for small villages and small communities. And I was looking at the Paris Square area, which could be the size of my village down in Zuma, where they have that sort of facility. And that is where I saw that facility, which I got really interested in.
Interesting.
It is a community.
Go on, Honorable.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is a community borehole. A community borehole that pumps the water into a service tank that will supply the area regularly. And the manager was able to explain to me that is the jurisdiction of the Community Water and Sanitation Project. But and I asked, is that section not under Ghana Water? And he said, it is. So if we want to do that in the urban center, then we ought to have a discussion with that sector or that section of Ghana Water so that we can have that sort of project for that community. If after the project and still they are facing the same issues.
Interesting.
So now, if the community and sanitation water project is to be featured in Paris Square, we have to wait for what do you call it? The contract to be completed for us to be able to determine whether water will flow regularly or not. So that's the situation that I am in with the Ghana Water Works at the moment.
Interesting. Honorable, we are also being told that the Western region, where you are MP in one of the constituencies, is the Galamsey capital in the country. And we know the direct relationship between Galamsey and its effects on our water bodies. Now, we are being told that per your engagements with management of the Ghana Water Company, that not enough water is being pumped into the area. Hence, the challenges we are seeing in Paris Square. Did Galamsey and its related activities come up at any point as a possible reason why residents in the area don't have access to clean, potable water?
Let me put this on record. Sekondi is not an area that we are endowed with gold deposits. So Galamsey actually is not done in Sekondi or anywhere near Sekondi. But where we get the water, the sources of the water pumped to supply Sekondi is where the Galamsey is being done. And from what you are saying and from what the discussion I had with the district manager, he confirmed that because of the activities of the Galamsey, when even they pump enough water, after treatment, they get so little. And then that means that they spend so much in treating the water. But yet, they will get so little.
So
do you understand what I'm trying to say?
So if I get you correctly, it means that Galamsey is then, or in some parts, the reason why the water challenge is persisting in Paris Square, if I get you correctly, sir.
No, yes, not just Paris Square, the whole of Sekondi Takoradi.
Interesting.
Because then I asked the question, then what is the guarantee that after completion of this expansion project that you are doing, we are going to get enough water? Because you are telling me that so much water is pumped, yet after treatment, we get so little.
Interesting.
That means that it is going to be the same problem that we are going to have after the expansion. So much will be pumped, yet after treatment, so little will be, realized.
So then tackling Galamsey...
So the best solution to the whole problem is to stop the Galamsey.
Interesting.
Because from what these experts are telling me and my constituents is that as long as Galamsey is being done, we will have the perennial water shortages. Because a lot could be pumped, but little could be realized after treatment.
Mr. Ahmad, do you think that we should declare a state of emergency with regards to Galamsey? Because the water issues not only persist in Sekondi Takoradi and its environs. Throughout of the week, we've been touching Kumasi, Northern region, and most of these issues have to do with the pertaining to Galamsey. Do you think we should declare a state of emergency?
Unfortunately, I don't believe in that because you know that I'm on the Committee of Land and Natural Resources.
Yes.
And that issue is something that we've been discussing so much. For me, I believe that we have to reset this country to the very basics that we were on before we got here. Galamsey has always been there when I was a little boy in secondary school. But I never saw our water bodies turn into the red and then the yellow and the violet and then the many colors that we have. I did my service around the Boise Isamen, and I saw the river Pra, how wide it was and how clean it was. Yet there was still Galamsey going on around those Boise areas. So for me, I believe that Galamsey is something that we can never ever get rid of it.
Honorable, this please go on. Please go on.
But they have to be done responsibly, very, very responsibly.
You know,
I have traveled along the whole of Western region. I've traveled along Western region up to Bibiani, through the corridors of Wase Kropon and Dunkos and all that. And it's so sad to see how the land is being degraded and destroyed, even close to homes and close to the highways. And I believe we need to take bold steps on this. We need to make sure that this is not happening. And we can only do this when the citizens are ready to help. Because if we, the citizens, are not ready to help, there is nothing that the government can do that it will work. Because you imagine about the recently, you know that a whole village was dismantled in the forest reserves.
I was coming to that, and Honorable, I think citizens are willing to help, right? You have the Coalition Against Illegal Mining. They've come up with, you know, a research paper detailing what can be done to address the illegal mining menace we are currently experiencing in parts of the country. They've called for the repeal of LI 2364. They're also calling for a state of emergency to be announced. So as a member of parliament, and you know, moving to what you just mentioned about, you know, an illegal settlement that had become a Galamsey hub over the years, as member of parliament and as, you know, a member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee in Parliament,
natural resource,
are you concerned that there's been an issue like this, a settlement known for not only Galamsey, but we are also being told by reporters that child prostitution incidents were happening there, you know, even murder cases had been found there. As member of parliament, are you concerned about this? The fact that it's persisted for too long and nothing had been done about it all these years, and now the recent swoop. What are your thoughts around it, and how do you seek, really, as member of parliament, to ensure that these settlements do not become a mainstay in our fight against Galamsey?
Yes, my brother, thank you very much. You see, you made mention of the settlement. The most worrying thing is that it was happening in a forest reserve. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
That is how worrying the whole issue is. The forest was reserved for a reason. Yet they've put up a settlement. Yet when those settlements were going on, the security agencies and the regional coordinating council were aware of it long before. So you could see that this settlement had gone on for far too long years, not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years. So the question is, what was then the regional minister and his coordinating council doing? We need to give thanks to the regional minister who is in place now that has taken action against that. And I believe that each and everyone has come on board, must come on board for these issues to be resolved. Because like I said, if the citizens or if the people around the areas are not willing to help the authorities, we cannot carry out the duties that they need to carry out.
Honorable.
Because it is the people that will give the information.
Interesting.
It is the people that will be willing to help the authorities stop this issue. Because if the people don't get involved, those activities wouldn't go on.
Honorable, should the LI 2462, which talks about mining in forest reserves, among other things, be repealed as member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee?
Could you repeat your question again?
I'm
please?
asking whether the LI, whether you support the motion that the LI 2462, which talks about mining in forest reserves, should be repealed, considering that in the forest reserve we saw an emerging or a thriving Galamsey hub or settlement. Should the LI be repealed to tackle some of these issues?
Of course, because you see, like I said, the forests were reserved for a purpose. Imagine Achimota Forest and people are doing Galamsey in it. So for me, I think that the action ought to be, there has to be action. You see, the talking is too much. For me, that is what I see. The talking is too much. There has to be structures in place, institutions in place to tackle all these things. Look, if you look at what is happening, this Galamsey is affecting our cash crops like cocoa, robbers, and all these things. And these things bring foreign incomes to the government direct.
Yeah.
What benefit do we get from the Galamsey? That is the question. As a country, the only benefit we get from Galamsey is destruction. People are getting kidney issues and all that. You understand what I'm saying? And it's the pollution of the water body that we have. Not everybody has gotten the money to buy pure water. In the olden days when I was young, we used to drink tap water. Now you cannot even drink tap water, but yet we are using the tap water to cook.
Honorable, thank you so much for your time. You know, time is not on our side, but we hope to engage you further on what you are doing together with your colleagues to sanitize our environment and end Galamsey as the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians are calling for. But maybe your final words on this very briefly before you take leave of us.
For me, I want to tell my brothers who are doing the Galamsey and all that, that they should think about the whole country and be responsible citizens. We all need to eat. We all need to bring something on the table for our families. But we have to bring that sort of food onto the table without killing others.
Interesting. And while we're at it, I'm saying that while we're at it, we hope you are able to also, in the interim, find some solutions for the Paris
For me, as
residents.
a member of that committee, I remember we had a visit recently to Bronga Hafo, and my concern so much is how the mining communities can benefit the communities that they are taking their wealth.
Okay.
And I remember I asked one question, the manager a question, that the Newmont manager, the hospital that you claim to be in your area, when your kid or when you yourself fall ill, will you allow yourself to be treated here? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I believe that the people's wealth is being taken away so much, yet the people are receiving little benefit. Why then wouldn't the people themselves then strive to go and dig that wealth themselves?
Honorable, your point is well made. Thank you so much for your time. We are grateful that you could spend, a bit of time talking us through the challenges in Paris Square.
No, let me finish my last one. So that is why I will be in this committee and support the refusal to extend the lease in Daman, because the gold digging have to benefit the community.
Interesting. We'll spend some time talking to you
Yes.
about Daman and also other mining-related issues. But in the interim, like I was saying, I hope we are able to find some, at least, temporary solutions to Paris Square residents. They say they are struggling and their livelihoods have come to a standstill.
It will be done.
So grateful for your time.
I work very hard to get it sorted.
We'll be following up.
Thank you very much.
We'll be following up as well. So, Blay Nyameke Alma, Member of Parliament for the Sekondi area, and he's assured us on the show today that he'll be working relentlessly to ensure that the water challenges. Now we are being told, initially he was saying that it was a pumping problem, then, the Galamsey question came in and he's like, oh, the pumping problem is persisting because of Galamsey. So essentially, you find if you draw an equation, you see that Galamsey
is directly related.
Exactly,
to
it's the only constant, it's the root cause.
Across the country.
Exactly. So we'll be following that very keenly. But thank you so much, Honorable.